Good morning, everyone. It's MJ. And um, at first, I thought I was just going to come on here to talk, and then I was going to tell my story, and maybe it'd help somebody else. And now, um, I believe that Christ consciousness is working through me again, and I have to tell the story the full way. Thank you all coming back to see what's going on with me. I even saw Oprah out here. That's when it made me start questioning things. But anyway, if you saw me and my JC video, you saw that we had a t-shirt company, and it was Christ consciousness working through me, and he was communicating with the world through me on social media. And my number one rule was, what's the number one rule of Fight Club? You don't talk about Fight Club. Anybody that wanted to be aware of it was welcome to, and they could interpret it however they wanted. I talk to the stars a lot because they're the ones that get the message and give it to the masses. So anyway, I closed the company down. I got pregnant with my daughter, and I was still communicating online with people and still had Christ consciousness working through me. And then all this happened with my ex-husband, and I became homeless. And here's the parts that I wasn't going to tell you. Okay, when I became homeless, there was a tree at this picnic table that we used to go and smoke pot and sit there and talk. And on the tree, it had M5 carved into it. Huge, big M5. And M5 was what we called our family, Mazada 5. There's 5 of us now. And I don't know how they knew that, but I knew that people knew. And there was another time where this girl came over on the bench and she's like, "Live out loud," which is one thing I said and just jumped off, and I'm like, okay. A lot of more people know than I thought. So anyway, I was trying to see exactly who knew and why this was being allowed, and was Kevin part of it? Like, I didn't even know he was planning his wedding or had her lined up or anything. I just didn't know if this was like a test, if this was something I was supposed to be doing. So I think I would go anywhere I was around the city because they would steal everything I had. So they stole my phone. And so I would go around the city and just go into all these different establishments and use the internet to talk and have my voice. And and another thing I started doing, which I'm not really proud of, they stole everything off me, so I had nothing. So I started stealing from corporate America. I figured, well, I paid my taxes and I would never steal from any one person. But anyway, and they stole all that anyway. So anywho, where do I go? So everybody was there. Every gang, CIA, local cops. And I said, and I don't know at what point, but I said on one of my messages, I have information that goes all the way to the president, because I wanted to see how far this went and who was watching. And then Secret Service showed up, so I knew that was happening, but I just still couldn't figure out why. Like, why are they allowing all this to happen? And let's see. So where did I go in my story? So anyway, the women were trying to prostitute me out. I was homeless on the streets, and I would be running from them, and the big guy that had 5150 tattooed across his chest that blew the meth into my mouth, had a van outside the shelter, and so I knew he was in jail, and I snuck in there, and I was staying in there to keep safe. And then somebody found me in there, and they were like, "You're not allowed in there. Does he know?" And so that's when that blew up. And then came the young man that had an apartment and had a job and became homeless, because he was there to keep an eye on me and watch me. And I didn't know at the time, but I guess he was in love with me, but I didn't really know that. And because I didn't know a lot of, like I saw signs, and I knew, and I was connecting with people outside, but I just didn't know exactly what was going on.